Okay. Hey, everyone. My name is Maya. I am the owner and founder of Daydream Design Firm. Thank you all for joining my session today. How are we liking the conference so far? Thumbs up, okay.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, yes. Today is also my birthday. Thank you so much. Okay, so we're going to be talking about social media branding today. Of course, we all know what social media is, correct? Yes, we all know. Okay, TikTok and Snapchat and Facebook, Instagram, all the things that involve social media. Of course, I've introduced myself. I founded my company in 2018, so we've been around for nearly 4 years, coming up here in May. I'm just going to go ahead and jump right in. So, social media is a must-have service for nearly any type of business. So whether you work for yourself or for a big company, believe me when I say that there's room for all of us. There are several options to think about when you're considering where you want to work in your social media career. So there's an option for freelance, and that is going to be when you are running your own brand or operating your own business, just doing or creating social media design work and content for individuals or companies of that nature. Then we have the agency type. And so this is more of a small business where you would be running their social media platforms for a small business. And then we also have large businesses, so the in-house corporations where you're actually full-time on staff working to operate their platform itself. Okay, so some keywords to pay attention to. Content is going to be one of them. So content is information, ideas, and messages that are used in some kind of written, visual, or spoken form for others to see. And then a post or to post is to share something with viewers. Now remember these words because I'll be using these throughout the presentation. So call to action. This is when you tell or ask someone to do something like sign up or buy now, click this button essentially. And then promotional. So this is where you will make people aware of a service or product and encourage them to buy something. So you're actually promoting. And then targeted. This is where you will set a very detailed goal. So keep these words in mind. Okay, so a lot of times I'll get calls and people will ask me, do you do social media management? Do you do social media marketing? And I say, no, I do social media branding. A lot of times there are certain expectations that you get when you offer social media management versus social media marketing. And so this is where I bring a different aspect to the social media industry. So for management, let's talk about that for just a little bit. And feel free, if you all have any questions at any point during the presentation, feel free to raise your hand and ask, and someone will come with the mic to listen to that question. So for management, social media management uses the brand as a friend to get the viewer's attention. I have found that management is most useful when you're attracting those between the ages of 25 to 40. And however, if you want to be tricky, then you can do both management and marketing by paying to boost content that you post. So a paid boost will make your more engaging and creative content reach more people. And so that's actually what I have previewed up here where I've circled the boost post button. And this is an example of a Facebook ad that I did design and create for the J.L. Berry company. And so what that does is that allows you to be able to have that post seen either locally or to a specific group of people as well. And so that's more so management where you're designing that content and then you're uploading it and posting it for your client or for the company that you may work for as well. So that's more so management. And typically in that type of setting, management versus marketing, usually the client or the company that you work for will give you what to post. They'll tell you, hey, I want you to post about our event that's coming up. Hey, I would like for you to post whether it's, okay, so example, a print shop. So they will oftentimes produce work for their clients like printed t-shirts or tumblers, things of that nature, and they may want their social media manager to actually post the shirts that they create or the tumblers that they design immediately. So that's what that looks like. Now, for marketing, it's going to be a little bit more aggressive. I say aggressive loosely, but marketing is like someone that's constantly advocating for your company, and they're essentially out there like hustling to say, hey, you know, your company is active, or your business is out here, and that increases the exposure. And so social media marketing allows you to reach specific types of people. Since these viewers are specifically targeted, one of those keywords there, your content can be more promotional and contain calls to action. So your promotional content should highlight your products or services, alerting your readers or your viewers and followers, so that way you attract current customers as well as new customers. And I show here as well that we identify the different audience types, the demographics for people, their locations of where they live, so Texas, California, marketing for those specific areas, because of course if it's a local-based business, you're going to want to reach the local community specifically. And then even for the audience details and being able to attract certain age groups with your marketing or your social media posts as well. You are able to run like analytic reports, so that way you can review the numbers to see how well your post is attracting the customers that you are trying to reach as well. So that's more so marketing. Now for branding, this is what I do. This is where I come in. For branding is an important part of social media management and marketing. Through strategic planning, the company can develop relationships with their customers that last a long time and build an engaging story for the brand. One thing to remember is that stories will always sell. Stories will always allow your customers or anyone that you're talking to actually engage into what you are saying or to what you are presenting, and then they tend to remember it a lot better. So when you're able to create a story for a brand, you have better opportunity to actually see closed business or sales. So what is a brand? So first, a brand is going to be a blueprint. A brand is a master plan of your customer experience. It needs to be delivered consistently across all areas of your business to help build trust and loyalty in your brand. Brand is also a relationship. A brand is the thoughts, feelings, and psychological relationship between a business and a customer. A brand is also agreement. A brand is a promise of what the consumer will experience from your business. Prime example, I saw a post on social media on my Facebook platform, and someone mentioned how they love going into Target because Target's carts have cup holders in their carts. Well, I saw another person comment about Walmart's carts, you know, their baskets, and they talked about how the wheels are usually, you know, a little raggedy, and you're not able to push them as well. That's where the experience comes in. That's where the customer is able to relate to wanting to go to Target because of the experience that Target presents them. So that's what that looks like. And then for nature, a brand is the inherent nature of your business, the personality and the character and the style. It is the emotional association to your brand. That's very crucial. A lot of times people think that your brand is your logo. A lot of times people think that you are your brand, but your brand is a combination of not only who you are, but also who you are trying to attract that you want to work with. And so it's important that your brand has its own personality, because that's what people will remember when they are interacting with your company, your product, or your service. They're going to remember how they felt when they worked with you. They're going to remember how they felt. Oh, sorry, I have a question.
We have a really good question from our virtual attendee. How important is reputation when it comes to building a brand?
Reputation is highly important. If someone associates a negative situation or a negative circumstance with your brand, that can actually cause a customer or your own brand to lose sales. Reputation is going to be based on word of mouth and how you are presenting yourself. And so that's another important reason why customer service is so heavily focused on, and the client's full experience as well.
That you work with while marketing?
So for now, I am focused on service-based businesses. I actually have worked with retail and e-commerce business, and so what that looks like, whether it is a boutique who sells clothes or things of that nature, I have worked with retail, but for now, I focus on service-based businesses, and the reason is because I am actually looking to truly make a difference in the lives of others. And in the service industry, I find that more business owners legitimately have a heart for the transformation that they're bringing to their customers.
Trust one of the most important things in a business?
I would say trust is definitely key. Definitely one of the most important things is trust. So oftentimes I'll give this example. So are you all familiar with Yeti? The brand Yeti and the tumblers that they have? Okay, so we all know that the ice is going to the temperature of the beverage that you have, it's going to remain constant and consistent for a long period of time. That Yeti is a brand that you can trust. So have you all heard of North Face jackets? Okay, so great quality. You know that they're going to be warm through pretty much any temperature that you experience. So both of those brands have built trust through the quality of what they're producing. Now, if Yeti started selling jackets the same way that North Face did, would you trust that Yeti is going to produce quality jackets? A little bit. No. Okay, so majority, yes. Okay, so yes, trust is crucial to brand development. And I believe we have a question here. Did you? Okay, I thought you had a question.
Do you work with all types of businesses or just certain kinds of businesses?
I do work with multiple industries. So for example, there could be a real estate industry, there could be fitness industry, there could be medical industry. So I do work with different types of businesses in different industries. Yes, yes, yes.
What is the social media that you use the most?
Facebook and Instagram, yes. Those are gonna be, oh, I'm sorry, yes.
That's all right, you can keep talking.
Oh, no, that's okay, go ahead.
Do you reach out to the people or do the people reach out to you?
Most of the time, my clients will have already reached out to me, yes. Oh.
Do you post daily on Facebook and Instagram?
Great question. So I do not post daily based on the social media branding service that I offer. And here's the other reason why for that. So with all of the research that I've done, with all of the studies that I've completed for social media, I've learned that the most important thing is consistency. Now, a lot of times, especially for product-based or retail companies, they will be more so, those types of companies will be more so focused on posting every day. So based on the rotation that I have set, I post every 5 days for my clients. And the key there is consistency. So someone once told me that you're only as relevant as the last post that you made. So it's very important to stay consistent, because as soon as you stop posting, your viewers are waiting for the next thing. They're waiting for what you're going to tell them next. They're looking for that relationship that you're constantly building with them. So consistency is going to be the most important. Okay.
To add on to the question of consistency, what about those brands that disappear for a few years and then come back with a bunch of like revival hype only to disappear again? What do you think of those?
So I think that's going to pose a problem when they're starting over, essentially. So when you go to look at someone else's social media page and you see that they're inactive, you're going to question whether they're still in business or not, whether they're still, even providing their services or selling their products, especially when you can see that they've consistently posted before or previously. So I think that would definitely pose a problem.
Do you work with like partners or other brands on sometimes?
Oh yes, most definitely, yes. Partnerships are part of your business growth as well.
How did you get your business to like take off? Like once you first started posting, how did you get it to increase?
So, combination of hard work and dedication for sure. But I really focused on what was going to best benefit my clients. If you focus on what will best benefit your clients and the people that you are working with, that is what is going to increase that trust and credibility to attract more people to want to work with you. Yes. Oh, sorry.
Why is branding such a big part of you?
So branding is a big part of me because, and I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but it's going to come down to the storytelling. So having a brand gives me clarity and direction on how I want to represent myself and represent my business moving forward. Okay, we're good. All right. So the last thing that a brand is going to be distinctive. Branding makes your business stand out from the crowd. It is the unique identity of your business. Okay, so prime example, this is actually one of my current clients that is going through my social media branding process. And when she first reached out to me, she wanted to implement social media, but I talked with her about the branding aspect. Okay, you want to do social media management or marketing, but do you have a brand? And so to that she said no. After we went through the branding process, we were able to identify the purpose of her company, the vision that she has for her company, and the mission as to why she is actually doing what she does in the real estate industry. And then we also identified her values. So her purpose statement, and I'll just briefly read through these, but the J.O. Berry Co. or company is here to serve, guide, and protect home buyers and sellers with unparalleled expertise and individualized professional service. Her vision is to assuring that your home is the center of comfort, warmth, and support for you and your family. Everyone deserves this feeling of safety, comfort, and peace of mind. Her mission, the J.O. Berry Company, is passionate about educating agents, sellers, and buyers through our consulting solutions and assisting them on their journey to achieving their dreams of home ownership while offering the most professional, personalized, and transparent service in an environment that is free from stress and pressure. Now, I read all of those in full because I wanted to give the big picture or the overall picture as to why the branding is so important. Because she's so clear on her purpose, her vision, her mission, and her values, now her social media will be able to communicate and tell the story that her brand represents and what she is actually here to do when working with her clients as well. Oh, yes.
How do you present yourself in a way that makes these brands want to reach out and work with you?
So, that's a good question. One of my core values for my brand is transparency and being honest. When people reach out with me just for a consultation, I let them know up front, hey, I'm not going to try to sell you on anything that you don't need. And then I'm going to actually talk them through why they need the service that I'm requesting that they move forward with. I fully review my process, and then I show them the visuals to back up what I'm actually saying or presenting to them, so that way they can clearly make an informed decision. So.
Do you How you're explaining this to us today, do you explain it on your story like you are now?
So when it comes to the clients and the consultations, yes. Yes, I do. Or any general conversation when people ask me about social media branding. Oh, okay.
Who encouraged you to start this?
Oh, great question. Okay, so I attended my home church in Jacksonville, Arkansas, and my church wanted to increase membership. They also had a school and a daycare, and so they wanted to increase enrollment as well. But at the time, from my perspective, at 17 years old, I didn't see where they were able to afford those types of services. So that really motivated me to actually pursue my career in graphic design and branding, because I wanted to come back and help my church with those services. Yeah.
How did you come up with your business name?
I've had several different classes, business classes, throughout the duration of building my company as well. I did attend college as well, but throughout the process of truly understanding and researching branding specifically, I've taken additional classes, business classes, outside of my college background.
When you were creating your brand, did you have any doubts? And if so, like, how did you get through them, and how did you like keep yourself motivated?
So I have children. I have 2 children. My son, he's 8. My daughter, she's 2. Everything that I'm doing is not only about helping other people, but it's also about establishing assets, my company, and things of that nature, to be able to provide them a great starting point for when it's time for them to transition to high school, and things of that nature. So my children definitely keep me motivated to continue building my business.
When branding, are you including certain colors for certain businesses? Does it include certain photography type images? What is included when you're branding? There we go.
Perfect question. Next slide, actually. So I identified the 4 different types of logo variations through the branding process. So that's going to be the primary logo, their submark logo, their wordmark logo, and their alternate logo. Each of those have their distinctive uses for design aesthetics as well, because one may fit better than others, especially on social media posts, as you will see in some of my next slides. Sorry.
Was it difficult starting your business from scratch?
Yes, very difficult. And with starting the business, you may have a particular direction initially, and once you start working with different types of people and with different types of services, the further you go, you'll realize what you're really comfortable with or what you're really good at and what you absolutely don't like to do. Whatever you absolutely don't like to do, you don't have to do it. You can actually focus on the things that you love to do in your business and make that work long term.
What is the association with like college and how important is college to like this type of like marketing and social media and that kind of thing in relation to like actually being successful and learning what you need to do to get there?
So I didn't attend college to learn social media, marketing, or management. Now, of course, those courses are available when you're going for your college degree, but I specifically went to school for graphic design. Once I was able to, get down my graphic design skill set and then continue to build on that, that's when I actually started to take additional programs outside of college to learn social media management and marketing.
How exactly did you start?
So I started out doing business card design work, flyer design work, and any other singular designs that you can think about.
Like, how do you start a logo? Do you start with a draft, or like, do you start like from what they have had before?
Great question. I start the design work for my logos with strategy. Every service that I provide starts with strategy. I have to fully understand the business, their purpose, their mission, their goals, to understand how to best create their visual identity. Great question.
How has branding changed your lifestyle?
I wouldn't say that the branding may have changed my lifestyle. I would more so say that it complements my lifestyle, because my lifestyle has essentially been infused into the way I represent my brand and my business. Good question.
What was the first brand you helped someone create, and how did you handle it?
One of the first brands I would say that went through my full brand development process would be a barbershop in LA, True Men Barbershop. He came to me and he said, hey, I have a logo, but I don't have a brand. He was like, I don't want to hear anything about SEO services. Marketers have already talked to me about that. That's not what I mean. And I said, perfect, great, you came to the right person. And then I was able to take him through my process and develop his brand in full. So he had a lot of clarity and direction moving forward with his business.
Okay, we're going to take this next question, and then we're going to let Maya advance in her slides, and then we'll take more questions after.
Okay.
What would you tell to somebody that wants to start a business?
Oh, good question. I think it's important to understand that success does not happen overnight. So if you do want to start your business, don't expect to see immediate results. Understand that it is going to be a journey, and it's going to be a process, but stay dedicated. Focus on your reason. Focus on the why that you started your business, and keep pushing forward through that reason, or for that reason. So, okay. So, back to your question about the brand development process. So I do identify 3 different types of fonts for my brands. The 3 primary genres or font types are going to be sans serif, serif, and then script. So I do provide those there, because each will have their distinctive purposes as I'm developing the design pieces or the design content. I do identify my clients' color schemes. And then I do provide what's called a hex code, so that way we can specifically identify the color that needs to be applied, whether it's on their website, whether it's on their marketing materials, things of that nature. And then the visual imagery and the textures that are set for the brand are to communicate that visual tone that they are speaking with. This client in particular wanted to have more of what's called an industrial look, where there's the wood and the dark tones and shadows and things of that nature. She still wanted to communicate elegance and sophistication, but relatable as well. So next we have content planning. And essentially, so what I will do is, with my clients, I actually sit down with them for about 4 hours to plan out the content over the next 3 months that I'm going to create with them. Now, that's my particular process, but you are able to develop your marketing strategy or your content planning exactly the way that you want to, based on the knowledge and the information that you've gained from what works best for you or your client as well. I focus on promotion objectives for each set of the posts that I create. With the About post that you can see here, I do focus on the mission statement. What should consumers know about the business or organization in no more than 3 brief sentences? With social media posts, it is very important to keep in mind that when people are scrolling on their cellular devices or on their laptops, you've got about 3 to 5 seconds to really capture their attention. So they don't want to look at a social media post and go, oh goodness, I'm going to have to read all of this. So we don't want to overwhelm the viewer with a lot of text as well. The next promotion objective is going to be services. I want to identify what they offer. This is not for us to go into detail. We want to keep it short and to the point, and we want to create a general service or product list. We identify their features. So here's where we bring attention to their specialties, what they do best, what product sells the best and why. Do they have key amenities? What aspect of their business or organization are they most proud to talk about? Their differentiators. How are they different from any other in their industry? Why do they stand out? Why should people trust their service or product? We spoke about credibility. So J.L. Berry Co. has been in existence for 30 years. That's a huge differentiator to understand that you're going to be talking with a real estate agent who has been in that industry for that amount of time. They're going to be knowledgeable, they're going to have answers, and ultimately people want results, so that's important. The next promotion objective is going to be informative. So this is where I ask them to think about a general statement that simply informs their viewers of something they don't know within the scope of their industry. Everyone loves fun facts, so that's beneficial for that promotion objective. What do you want to say to your potential clients or active clients about any aspect of your business or organization that we haven't already mentioned? And I break it down to them exactly as it appears on these slides. So the next promotion objective is going to be affirmation. This is where I encourage my clients to inspire their viewers with a motivational statement that relates back to their brand. So this is also important too. Yes, we want to have a motivational statement to increase shares for that post, but we want it to relate back to their business or back to their brand. We don't want to just randomly encourage someone with a quote that has absolutely nothing to do with their service industry as well. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry.
Question from a virtual viewer. How do you brand for the different age groups on social media?
Brand for the different age group. It depends on the type of company that I'm working with. Okay. Is that? Okay. So the next promotion objective is going to be the call to action. We spoke about this. This was a key word. So this is where we encourage the viewers to engage with the client's website or subscription, if they have a subscription input there on their website. Suggest that they book a consultation, navigate to their portfolio, review their gallery, taste a product, email a selfie. In what way can someone interact or engage with at least one of the client's online platforms? They may be operating on Instagram and Facebook. They may, be operating on LinkedIn, things of that nature. So we at least want them to engage with one of their online platforms. And as you can see here for the J.L. Berry Co., this particular call to action says, sign up to save and create your personal search criteria. Be the first to know when matching properties come on the market. This is a real estate company, and so she's actually allowing her clients to sign up to know, or potential clients to sign up to know when a property is going to be hitting the market. That's crucial for other potential viewers on her social media pages to know that she's actively informing them when their opportunity comes.
What was the worst thing that you went through during starting your own business?
Good question. I would say the pandemic, definitely. That's probably going to be about the worst.
What's your favorite thing to do when you're posting?
My favorite thing to do when I'm posting, I guess the design aspect would be my favorite. I love being creative. I love design, so that's gonna be my favorite.
Do you have to meet with a lot of people to talk, or do you do most of it just online?
Typically online, especially since the pandemic. I'm typically completely virtual.
So we've been thinking about having our EAST program take over the school and the promotional group for our pep rallies. Got any advice? Just a little coup d'etat, just kind of a revolution.
Start with the branding.
Okay. We got glasses, pink glasses. That's our logo.
Okay. I would focus on the reason behind EAST before implementing a strategy.
All right.
Yes.
We'll take these last two questions here.
You said the pandemic was like one of the worst things. So how did it affect you?
Definitely being able to keep up with the unknown and the unfamiliar of how business was going to change during that time. It was just a very unpredictable time. So, that can be challenging.
So in my East project, we use social media to like promote local businesses downtown. And do you have any tips on how we could get people interested in going to the places that we're posting about?
Good question. I would have to understand a little bit more of the background, so maybe we can talk about that afterwards. And maybe we can talk about your question afterwards too. I have some better advice. Okay. So the next promotion objective is going to be a testimony. People love to know that someone else has already worked with the company or the individual that's running their own business. Testimonies are an instant form of validation that the person is actually good at what they do. So I always tell them this one is easy. Receive a testimony that they want attractively showcased on their social media pages. The next promotion objective is going to be special offer. So I tell them to allow for at least one discount or way for a customer to get a little more for their money. The percentage or credit is completely up to them and what they decide their special offer will be. And then I just ask them, what would be your small sacrifice for a greater return? The next promotion objective is going to be the website highlight. So if the client has a website, then this is where we will showcase their website as an advertisement, as though it's being viewed on a realistic computer screen and or mobile device. The idea here is that we definitely want to drive more traffic to the website and using that social platform, because the more Google can read that people are visiting that website, the higher their website will rank and the more traffic that they can draw in through Google as well. So that's going to be important. Okay, your specialty. So finding what you do best is what will set you apart. It's not to say that you won't learn all of these things eventually, but you've got to start by mastering at least one of them. Whether it's content creation, whether it's advertising, whether it's copywriting. And by copywriting, I'm not talking about like an actual copyright for like a product or a logo, something of that, like a trademark. I'm not referring to a trademark. But for copywriting, the ad content that you see on a social media post that we also know as a caption is going to be important as well, because you're also going to use that part of the social post to communicate that story. So copywriting, if you like journaling, if you like writing, that could be your niche. Your software. So social media management software is essential for this career. It helps you schedule and report on the content that you post. The good thing is there are plenty to choose from. So a few that are pretty credible are going to be Hootsuite, Loomly, and Buffer. Study. So it's up to you to stay up to speed. And we briefly talked about the pandemic and things of that nature. Definitely study so that way you can stay up to date. Not only study from the aspect of taking courses to continue to enhance your social media skills, but also study what's around you. Listen for trends. Listen to what people are talking about. Stay active and current, and always be aware of your surrounding and what's going on, because that will also help you benefit your customer or your client as well. So study new strategies and concepts related to social media marketing, content creation, and advertising whenever you have some free time. So some resources I'd recommend will be HubSpot Academy, LinkedIn Blog, and Facebook Blueprint. Okay, So this is the QR code for 100 services to offer as a social media manager. I love that pamphlet. It's a PDF, so you'll be able to view it on your phone quickly as well. But that is what I have. So questions? More questions?
Out of like your whole journey of doing this design and like promotions, what would you say is like the most difficult or most challenging thing you've done, or aspect of what you do?
Great question. Oftentimes, when I'm developing my content, a challenge could be, let's say the client doesn't have a concrete or solid idea on what they want to talk about for their promotion objectives. So then that's going to cause me to think a little bit harder to try to figure out what we are going to relate back to their business for the post.
Okay. Go ahead. If you're working for a quote-unquote dead business, or maybe a business that's not doing so well right now, what would you do to kind of revive it again on social media?
I would get very clear on the strategy of the company. So that way we can understand, are we even communicating the purpose of the business first?
What's the most successful business that you've ever worked with?
Oh, that's a good question. So outside of social media branding, I've done a logo for P&G. I'm not sure if you know who that company is, but yes.
I would just like to say, obviously, many of you still have questions. I believe Maya will be available for a few minutes after her presentation. And so if you can stay here and ask her questions, that would be great.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you all.